Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video I thought let's do something a little bit different, a bit fun. Let's do a tag. So I found one online which is actually the guilty pleasures tag, so I thought that could be quite interesting. I have no idea what the questions are, I've not gone through them yet, so I'm seeing them for the first time, so fingers crossed it's good stuff. So the first question is, what is your guilty pleasure TV show? So I like all of the kind of mainstream stuff that everyone's watching at the moment, like Gossip Girl, Bridgerton, you know, all of that. I also have a very, very special place in my heart for food programmes and cooking programmes. In particular, there's one on Netflix called Somebody Feed Phil. I cannot recommend it enough. Basically, every episode is a different country and this guy goes there and he tries out loads of different restaurants and like street food vendors and just tries different cuisines, and I just love it. I love anything like that, and I think at the moment, because we can't travel, it's kind of like bring the travel to you kind of thing. So yeah, definitely food programmes are my guilty pleasure. But I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. I think that's quite common. I think that's quite popular, you know, market, but I love them. Guilty pleasure book. So I don't read very much at all, and that's definitely something that I am probably hoping to change at one point. If I do sit down with a book, guilty pleasure stuff's like autobiographies or, you know, things that just aren't really very kind of academic. I don't do books with little writing or anything like that, so yeah, stuff like that I guess. Guilty pleasure song. So I really like 1950s music, like I call them the greats, so like Dean Martin, Nat King Cole, Frank Sinatra, you know, why is my voice going croaky? All of those, I absolutely love them. And there's a playlist on Spotify that I follow and it's called Italian Cooking Music, but it's all of that and it's just so good. I love it and I could listen to it all day every day, and it's completely not to anyone else I know's taste, but I just love it, and yeah, I'm not guilty about it, but it can be seen as a guilty pleasure probably. Guilty pleasure band. Again, I have no shame, I feel no guilt, but definitely the Jonas Brothers. I have been a Jonas Brothers fan since I was about 14, 15, and I have loved them ever since. Even when they broke up and they weren't making music anymore, I still loved them. I was such a fangirl for them and they meant everything to me. Like, I even went to London when Nick was in Les Mis, and I got to that stage door at around 7:30 AM with my friend just so that we could see him and potentially meet him. You know, that was never a guarantee. We just went on the off chance that we would just see him, you know, in the flesh. I was such a fan and I still am, and I would probably do that again. If he ever came back to the West End, I would probably do that again. Purchases. I don't really know what would be classed as a guilty pleasure purchase. I don't really have anything. There's nothing that, everything I buy is pretty, I need it. You know, clothes, I need them, ring lights. It's not guilty pleasure or anything like that. So I'm not really sure actually. Guilty pleasure activity. Again, I don't really have any. I think everything I do is pretty, you know, standard, aside from doing YouTube and Instagram. I go for walks, I go to the gym, I really like baking and cooking, but none of that I would think would be deemed as a guilty pleasure. I'm not too sure. Yeah, probably nothing, I don't know. Guilty pleasure habit. Blimey, these, I'm not doing very well with this, am I? All of these I don't know what I would pick. I have a lot of habits that maybe are weird, I don't really know. I'm sure I've got a few, but I don't know if they're guilty pleasures or things like that. Probably just sitting there dancing around doing a one-man performance in my bedroom to Frank Sinatra, Nat King Cole and my Italian cooking playlist maybe. Other than that, yeah, I don't think there's any, but yeah. Movie. I am a huge Disney fan, and I know that that's not to everyone's taste and it's not everyone's cup of tea, but for me, I don't really want to use the word obsessed, but people around me would probably argue that I am obsessed. I love it. I get asked a lot, like, you know, you're nearly 28, do you not think that you're a bit too old? Absolutely not. definitely not. Love it. So any Disney film, I guess. And I mean, even if, you know, maybe if I'm having a bad day or I'm just not feeling great or I want to put something on without giving it too much attention, I will stick on like a kids animated film because I just have it as background noise. So just things like that, I guess. I have no shame. I watch children's films and I don't have any children around me, so it's all for me. Game on your phone. Definitely this game that I downloaded called Beehive Bedlam. So when we were kids, on Sky you could play games, and me and my sister would always play Beehive Bedlam. Like, we used to fight over the remote to see who got to go first because it was such a good game. And she texted me the other day and said, it is on the App Store, you need to download it. Ever since then, I just cannot stop playing it. I think because it's so nostalgic and it just reminds me of being a kid, and you know, it's my childhood, but it is honestly so addictive as well. If you haven't downloaded Beehive Bedlam, definitely do it. I feel like we need to make that the lockdown staple, or at least one of them. And lastly, your guilty pleasure website. This one's so easy. It's not a website, it's an app, and it's TikTok. I always vowed that I would never download TikTok. And then we went into the first lockdown last March and I was like, let's just do it. When people say there is that TikTok hole, there is that TikTok hole, and you can fall down it very, very quickly. The amount of times that I think, right, I'm gonna get into bed and I'm gonna settle down for the night, I'm just gonna watch, you know, 5 or 10 minutes of TikTok. Before you know it, an hour's passed, you've completely ruined your sleeping pattern, but you have watched about 100 TikToks and you are so far down your For You page. Honestly, it's such an addiction, isn't it? Like, love it. I love it. So that's definitely my guilty pleasure one, because I just find it, I just can't get enough of it. But I think that was the last question actually. Let me just... Yes, that was the last question. So I hope you enjoyed this. I will definitely leave a link to this tag in the description below if you do want to do it yourselves. I would love to know what some of your guilty pleasures are as well, so do let me know in the comments. I just thought it would be something fun, so I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, and if you're here for the first time, definitely go ahead and subscribe because that would make me so happy. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!